Welcome, everyone. My name is Chrissy, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about the whole overconsumption phenomena that's happening right now on social media. And I've been seeing so many videos. And recently, I saw a video from Kiki Chanel that did reactions to the face overnight mask thing where the girls are just doing all these insane things to their face, and it sparks up a larger and a conversation that has been going on in the community about overconsumption. And I have been a part of the beauty community for a long time. I used to have a beauty channel many moons ago. I converted it into a completely different channel. And I have a channel now that has some beauty related things on it, but it is more like a vlog channel. And then I do have like a trinket channel, which is overconsumption y too, but in a little bit of a different way. It's the whole blind box phenomena, but I've always been into collecting and trinkets my entire life. It's not anything new to me. So I try to not overconsume too many things. I try to recycle things that I have, or I give them away or donate them, which of course it's not necessarily something that you should do anyway. So trying to come into this whole scenario with a little bit of a different perspective, because some of the things I'm guilty of myself, and I'll admit to it. And then I can also admit to the sides that are really pushing things over the edge where it's becoming really just crazy and just out of control. And I'm going to give you some of my honest feedbacks and opinions about it because I have no vested interest. I've never been a huge influencer. I've been considered what you would be like a micro influencer, maybe. I've received some free products here and there. I've been cut like maybe one check for 50 bucks for a review I did years ago for a company for some supplements. And outside of that, I've never really been paid any high amount of money. So I have no real vested interest in whether or not something is sold. If you guys like something that I talk about, like, and you bought something that was affiliated to my Amazon, cool. But technically I have a full-time job outside of any videos that I make, and I've had one since dawn of time. I've never been a full-time influencer, and if I ever become one in the future, the thing is I don't think I would want to do it necessarily in this influencing way. And it feels like you would want to do that because it's really easy, but the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I don't really want to do this because all you're doing is essentially selling 24/7. People's channels that I see just consists of them trying on outfits, so you buy them, or them putting on skincare, or them putting on some sort of beauty product or hair care product, and it's usually like 10 products. So that's the part where I think I'm not making the connections with a lot of these influencers anymore, because like a couple of products, now it's like a surplus of products. I don't remember the overnight routines looking like this. And like I said, I've been around since before, and I had an OG beauty channel where I had like hundreds of videos, and I had about 4,000 subscribers. And then, like I said, I converted it. So I completely lost that channel and all of the things affiliated to it. I privated all the videos. Do I still have all the videos? Yes, I do, but they are not public facing. So I said I've been doing this a while, and I remember like going to bed routines and morning routines, and I don't remember them being this way. And I've also participated in some of these newer trends, and I'm going to let you know which ones I have and which ones I feel are just absolutely ridiculous or over the top, or it's just not feasible, or to like not waste your money. And one of the first things I wanted to mention before I go into this is, for example, I'm going to just quickly de influence you from Purchasing an overabundance of products, because I'm guilty of this, and I can show you right here from example that half of these I have to throw away because they just didn't work for me. I never ended up like returning them. Some of them, did I use them down to where there's like basically nothing left? Yes. But most of these are full. I didn't like the product. It didn't work out well for me. So I have to trash a bunch of products. And this is what happens when you overconsume. This could be somebody's entire makeup collection, TBH, to be honest. And it's, you get into the habit of purchasing. And even myself, I'm not claiming that I'm cold turkeying. I'm going to try. And I do pick things where I'm like, you have enough of this, do not purchase anymore. It's just something that becomes like a fun thing, and it becomes like exciting to try new products. But I also think it's because we've sort of been hypnotized to think this, and we think that we need these things when all reality, I have so many versions of them already, and I just need to kind of go through my stash and see what I have and attempt not to and attempt not to overconsume things, because what ends up happening is that they come out with these new products, and then you want to try the new product over and over again, try a different product, try a different product. And it's so easy to get into this trap. I want to say that this young lady, I have no idea who these people are. And I'm not trying to shade anybody. I'm really trying to come at this from like a neutral place. I know a lot of de-influencers will like wreck these people and just go in on them, or I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but I'm going to try to keep it like as neutral as possible. So it's more like lesson learned. And with my channel, I really am trying to focus on how we can make the best of the situation, or empower ourselves to save our money or do other things as well with our money. So for example, if you're going to go buy skincare, take the amount of money that you're going to spend on that skincare and put it into a Roth IRA. Let's learn tips and tricks like that during these things to also add to what we're doing from a longer term perspective, and not all these very like short term, what feels like dopamine hit, or quote unquote, you're making yourself like looks maxing. That's really big now, trying to make yourself look your best, which I understand. But again, all of these other people that are de-influencing you all say the same thing, and it's very true, especially from a psychology perspective. It's making you feel like you need it to be able to achieve X, Y, or Z, and that's not really the case. When you do the math on a lot of this stuff and you do the scientific research, it all comes down to what you're putting into your body and how well you're hydrating yourself and the nutrients that you're getting. A lot of these things aren't necessarily helping 24/7 if you're not using them correctly, or you're overusing them. That's another thing I wanted to talk about, the overuse of these things, and that's not really discussed. And we always talk about the overconsumption and how much it costs, but we don't really get into like the cost on your skin of this long term.
Morning, genuinely feel suffocated. Oh my god. I did not sleep. Why is my face going like that? I feel like
I
I can actually breathe again. I actually do feel snapped.
I can't sleep with this. So I've tried this before. I have one. I can show you the item. I purchased this a couple of years ago, actually. I was influenced to purchase this, and I slept with it like twice and I could not do it. Could I potentially try it again for fun? Maybe, yeah, but like in all reality, I don't personally think it's going to make that big of a deal. It might help you like hold the mask on or something, and maybe help you for like that night. Say you have an event the next day, doing this whole spiel might work for you, but doing this every night is not feasible. I've tried it and I'm telling you, I can't sleep right. I can't turn my head. I have to like consistently sleep a certain way. And then the peeling off of these things, it's too much every day. It just becomes overwhelming.
Alright, get this fucker off me. I didn't even think I
Did
had it
you
on my.
hear that? Get this effer off me. Look, somebody in the comments says the way I'd wake up with a panic attack during the night with all that on my face, thinking someone's attacking me. I have to peel that stuff off usually midway through. A very short amount of time can I keep it all the way through. The best that I've been able to do lately for these things, which I do believe they work to a certain degree, they do smooth out the wrinkles. I don't know if it's momentarily. I mean, I've done it long enough to where I can see a difference. I do notice a difference, but also I notice a difference if I drink more water as well. So I do the top half of my head only with that peeling mask. I do not do like all my cheeks and stuff every night. That's not something that I feel like is probably good for your skin to do every single night. And then they have those other masks that are like those jelly ones. We'll talk about those if we run across them.
My nose then. She was invisible. At least the skin looks good. Imagine if it didn't.
And her lips look strange, and that's because the lip oil too, like that would give me like some sort of sensation to where you get like that tight feeling and eventually it starts to just like peel and flake off your lips and then it can look uneven. I don't know if I like that every
Lip
time.
balm. Hopefully this lip balm made that lip stain look better. These weren't actually too bad, but I just like being free in my sleep. Those curls, I mean, my skin looks incredible now.
Wow, I mean, her hair looks gorgeous, and that is something that I will say does work. I use it, but again, it has me feeling some type of way oftentimes midway through the night. This one I should try more often. I have the ones that like roll up and then roll on the sides. I do have one of these ones. I should do that more often just to try, but I've tried the other ones and they do work and you do wake up with fabulous hair, but it's almost like at a cost. It's not even just about going to bed ugly, quote unquote. It's about being uncomfortable while you sleep. Talked about before the cost that's involved in these. These masks are not inexpensive. Like they start to be really expensive. So I think here's one of those expensive
Maybe you
masks.
have to let go of who you were.
Yeah, so that mask that she just put on, I'm not sure if that's the one specifically, but I have it. It's a thick mask. It is definitely gorgeous. But to put that on your face every night, those masks are like 5 or 6 bucks a piece. So to put one of those on and then to put the eye patches, which eye patches, depending on the eye patches you're buying, can be upwards of $10 to $20 or like in between that range. You can get them at the dollar store, but they don't work as well. Or you can buy ones from like Amazon. I have ones from Amazon, but they did cost money and you eventually run through them and then you buy them again. You do eventually go through them.
To become.
I mean, hers isn't as bad. She seemed like she went to sleep with like a braid in her hair. That doesn't seem, what is this now?
I feel like at some point we need to ask ourselves, like, are we doing too much? The LED mask, this works for just 10 minutes.
Yeah, like she said, here's the thing, and we're going to go into this right now because this is a perfect example of I don't know if she's doing this every night. Is this like she does this before an event? She does it like a couple of times a week. She does it for like the gag of the video for like rage baiting. I'm not sure, but I'm telling you from a realistic perspective, if you were thinking about doing this yourself, I would say that first of all, you're not supposed to abuse red light. I think that you need a certain amount of red light. Like if you don't use enough, it's not going to affect you. But then again, if you use it too much, it's not going to also work. As you see what I'm saying, everything is about balance here. So if we abuse these things, it's not going to do the same thing that we want it to, or it's just not going to work the way we want it to. So all you're doing is really aggravating yourself, so to speak. With that chin thing, I don't really think that that honestly works. All of those contraptions, it seems like it's holding in or contorting or shaping her body. Yes, those do kind of work, but they don't work on a long-term status. You have to consistently wear those like bodysuits and stuff and maintain working out and clean eating, et cetera, et cetera. If you want to maintain your physique, you need to exercise. It's all the things. It's not just falling asleep with these contraptions that like work your muscles out or that give you red lights or that will plump your skin. Eventually, if you over abuse these products, they stop working. They'll start to aggravate your skin, or you're just not going to see the results the same way because the body starts to kind of get used to what's happening.
Minutes, and it does not work on top of other sheet masks. So again, don't need to be using it overnight. Castor oil is super trendy, no scientific evidence behind it, and some people
Yeah, then like people are doing like stomach pooling or something like this. There probably is something to it. Like, I don't want to dismiss away certain ancient traditions and things of this nature because sometimes those things actually do work, just not in the way that we traditionally or typically or understand how they work. So we kind of do things of this nature. Could this be helpful to her? Yeah, maybe it's soothing to her area and it gives her like a tighter looking stomach and makes it look smoother. But like long term effects, I'm not really sure what that's going to do for her. And I can't imagine again that this isn't affecting the quality of your sleep. Would you rather have poor sleep or would you rather have sleep that's fantastic because you don't have all these contraptions all over your body?
reported like nausea, bloating, vomiting. So again, I'd be careful. Not saying it doesn't work, but just proceed with caution. This just looks plain uncomfortable. Like I have to know, is she actually doing this or is it just for the video?
Yeah, like that's
Actually
really
pull water out of
my
your
whole
skin.
thing too. And to wear multiple masks, you're doing this every night, that can get out of control. And I just don't.
Good morning. I haven't done a morning shed in a hot minute, starting by removing my face mask. We're in the middle of a snowstorm here.
She doesn't look that bad, honestly. But when I see her teeth, though, I'm thinking that that's a retainer. But what I have seen is that people were sleeping with the overnight teeth whitening. And I will say, I will never do that. And I will never advocate anybody to ever do that. And I suggest to never do that unless they come out with some sort of special ones and your dentist has approved it and your enamel can take that, because the thought of that gives me nightmares leaving that on my teeth all night. So I personally would never do that. I'm not a medical doctor or anything like this. Anything I say in this video is to be taken for quote unquote entertainment purposes only. But at the end of the day, that does not seem healthy or safe. Those strips are meant to be left on for the minimal amount of time that they tell you, because that will start to do damage to your teeth long term. If you continue to do whitenings too many times, you will eventually, I think, damage your enamel or could make your teeth extremely sensitive. I have those mouth strips and I have used them and they do work. And the ones that I have collagen in them for my lips. And so they're cute, but I don't wear them every night. I don't remember. And then on top of that, like it is aggravating, especially like if you want to talk to somebody or you need to do something or you want to eat, you literally have tape on your mouth. Yeah. I mean, hers is not even that bad. There's some worse ones. Like wrapping your whole head like this, I'm not sure I understand it. This is the part of that Medicube where I have some of that stuff. It's not Medicube, it's like another company or something, but it does the same thing. I cannot put that on my whole face every night, all night. It drives me insane. I've seen people also use the facial tape, and the facial tape can work. But I would say, again, if you get out of control with it and you try to abuse these things all the time. Like, I don't know if using the tape all the time would give you lines in other places. Like, I don't know. It does work when I use it, but I don't abuse these things. I don't use them every day. I use them like every other night. The tape, I have like a triangular tape that I just put on my 11s. I don't put tape all over my face, but people swear by the tape. So I'm not hating on the tape. It works. I'm just saying I wouldn't use these things, and I would take breaks from it and let your skin kind of breathe from time to time. I mean, her stuff looks really pretty. She looks very beautiful. Like, she didn't seem like she did a whole bunch of stuff. So this one's not as bad. This one's not get screaming like insanity like some of the other ones. Like, what is this one right here? I don't know if that's something with her teeth, but I think that's what that is. And it just looks because of the contraption. I did see this one. This was the one that was like insane with all of the facial tape. I mean, I don't know. It can work, but it's a lot to have to deal with every night. It's a lot of trouble, and I personally cannot sleep with that.
Let's talk about my morning skincare routine to get this insane
So I wanted to talk about
glow.
skincare.
I'm 31 years
routines
old.
a little
focus
bit
is
too.
hydration and brightening. Remember, skincare, it is not a one size fits all. It's by
Okay.
Mount Lay. I do this every single morning. I do not miss a morning. This is going to dramatically help with lymphatic drainage, gives you to any cleansers.
Okay,
Use
so
whatever
she's
cleanser works for
doing
your skin.
like an
I do
oil
really
and
like
wash a
the
thing.
prequel cleanser.
She's doing a
It is with
cleanser.
the Naturium Multi Bright Milky Toner.
She's doing a toner.
Glow with the e.l.f. Bright and Glow Vitamin C eye cream. This
She's
one
going in
is
with a
also
vitamin
by
C
Skin
cream,
Farm.
another e.l.f.
Benefits too.
cream,
Look at that. For just a few minutes to kind of
and
fully
then it looks
settle
like
into
she's
the
going
skin.
in
And now
here
we're going
with
to go
another
in with SPF. You need to be wearing your SPF every day.
SPF.
Spectrum protection, but also
That's a lot of products. That's like I don't know. Was that like 7 products? I don't use that many products. I use I have a cleanser. I have just like your generic tea tree cheapo cleanser. I don't have like an expensive cleanser. And from time to time, I've bought expensive cleansers, but I've not really noticed anything about a really expensive cleanser. I've used tea tree. Tea tree works fantastic for me for whatever reason. And then on top of that, I use a blue screen filter SPF, kind of like a 3-in-1 makeup filter and skincare kind of thing. And then I do use an under eye cream. And then that's it. I have serums, but I don't use the serums every day. I use serums a couple of times a week. I personally believe if you over abuse these products, they just don't work the same. And then if you start and then what happens is that you start consuming more products because they stop working. So then you think you need a new product, and then you're using another product. When in all reality is that you're overusing the product. Like, just a note on these folks and the way that they're using the products as well. From what I'm understanding, you don't need this kind and level of product. It's overconsumption. It's over usage, if you will. You don't need to use an entire palm full of oil, it's just people are using 2 or 3 times the amount of product that they also should be using. And eventually your face becomes insanely used to it. And then you're next thing you know, you're putting on 10 products when you only need like 2 or 3 in all reality. And on top of that, you can get multitasking products to where you're not going through all these steps, because it is a little bit of a time waster to be doing these things over and over again. And I'm not saying that I'm not one for self-care, but this gets annoying after a while for me personally, to be just slapping shit on my skin, especially like if I'm not getting it done for me. Like if it's a facial, okay, slap 50 things of retinol on my face, 50 layers of cream, 10 layers of serum, splash my face, mist it 15 times. But I'm not doing that for myself personally, because I actually get bored of it. Starts to get annoying, and I don't want to go through the steps and the process of it, because I don't personally feel that doing all of this does anything more for me other than if I just do a couple of the products that are multitasking and my diet's on point and I consume a lot of water, and I make sure I'm getting all the protein that my skin needs to rebuild, and then I'm getting enough collagen, like internal collagens, not external collagens. And then on top of that, you need to consume a lot of it and from different sources, because especially when you start to get older, it's not going right to your skin first. It's probably going to my knees first, okay? And all the other places where it needs it first. So it's not going to immediately, I drink collagen in some form and then all of a sudden my skin is glowing the next day. It builds up, it is a routine, and it's an internal routine. And on top of that, supplements like that you take, taking breaks from them, not taking them all the time, taking them routinely, but not taking them obsessively, if you will, making sure to have a rotation of supplements that you take, but not take them every single day. Maybe take them every other day, maybe take some at some times of the year and then kind of change it out. That's really, in my opinion, how things like the seasons go, and the different times a year where you can get different fruits and vegetables. I feel like it's like the same thing with your skincare or something. You don't want to just keep using the same thing over and over again, but at the same time, you don't want to keep going out and buying new products over and over either. You want to have like a rotational set that you use, and then maybe some days you use one product and then skip out on the product and then maybe use that the next day. But that's just my idea of this and how you can find or strike balance with all of these different things. Like, you don't need two different eye creams. And I feel like she put on like a ton of different serums already. This, okay, detox tea, that's cute. I'm not hating on that. And there we are, a book.
On my skin every single day, and that is because of my nighttime skincare routine. I'm gonna let you in on some pro secrets from a licensed esthetician that's gonna get you glass skin super easily and show you what my super simple glass skin nighttime skincare routine looks like. Starting off, I always like to double cleanse. I like to go in between these two products right here. And then for my second cleanse, best if I have a breakout that is staying. Promise, it makes a difference. Doing your skincare, don't million products to have a really solid is gone. Bye. They're also just so soothing to the skin. I love azelaic acid for my redness, rosacea, inflammatory acne girlies. I'm not gonna lie, I'm an esthetician that really cares about barrier support, so I am very big on not being excessive with your skincare. I don't think you need a million products to have a really solid skincare routine, but my nighttime routine, I like to do a little extra,
Yeah, so she's saying here you don't need a million products, and she's an esthetician and she still wants to be extra, but it's because we've been influenced to be extra probably, and we get our hands on these products, so it's easy to be extra, if you will. And her skin looks great. I can't say that she doesn't look fabulous. I don't think that we need to do all these extra steps, or I just feel like we can find products that are multitasks, and we don't have to get into all this like different levels of like 15-step skincare routine. For me, that's just personally excessive. I don't do that. My skin routine, if I'm doing like a skincare routine at night, what mine looks like is washing my face off, using a makeup cloth to get off the makeup as well, and then going over it with maybe one of those acid wipes. I do use those. I do think those are beneficial. And then maybe spraying my face, and then that's it for the night. I feel like I want to do something the next day, or I want my skin to look a certain way. I would use one of those like really hydrating masks overnight, but I end up not leaving it on overnight. None of this stuff usually makes it overnight. Eye patches and my hair all together, like in one night, that was the most that made it. Usually I'm ripping off anything that's on my lips. I'm ripping out the things in my hair. If my face is all with that mask, I'm ripping the entire mask off. I just can't do it. Nor can I do a 10-step skincare routine. If that's for one night, I feel like getting crazy one night, perhaps, because I have all the things, if you will, but I don't consistently use them like that every night, because I do think it's excessive, and I try not to buy skincare anymore because I just neglect it. I don't use it a lot just because I think it can start to aggravate my skin, and it starts to get just crazy meat messing with just my face in general, which I don't like to do. I hope everybody enjoyed this video and you saw a different side of what the influencing looks like. It's easy to be influenced. I'm influenced all the time. I've influenced other people plenty of times for things, but it's when it starts to become out of control and it starts to become to the level where you quote unquote need these things to achieve these certain looks, or you quote unquote have to do these 15 steps, or you have to do these insane things to maintain a certain look or to be beautiful. And that's just not the case. And you can do a lot of these things with neutrality, not swinging the pendulum, so the beauty pendulum so far to either side where you're not doing anything, where you just don't care about your skin at all, right? You want to do self-care, you want to love yourself, you want to make sure that you're doing all the right things for yourself, but that you're not pushing it all the way to the other side where you are completely just falling into every trap and trend and buying every skincare product and buying every product that is supposed to help X, Y, or Z and doing every whatever and just compiling it all together all the time to make you feel like you're putting your quote unquote best foot forward again when that's not really the case. And a lot of this is just companies trying to get you to purchase products that you don't really need. It's influencers trying to get you to click on their ads or go through their whatever to buy a product that they've recommended to you. And oftentimes, when you think about it, they may not have used this product from a longer term perspective. We have no idea how long they've been testing it, if it really truly is a product that they love. But I just really thought this was a interesting topic that I wanted to kind of give my 2 cents on, because a lot of channels right now are ripping on the influencers, and I get it, and I can come in from that perspective as well. But I can see where it's, let's talk about what we can do, how to make it better, and what we can actually do with the wasted money. You can put this in a savings account, a high yield savings account. You can open up a Roth IRA. You can open up a stock account and put it into the S&P 500. We can keep going. We can think about all the ways that we can, instead of purchasing one of these things, or if you get tempted to purchase one of these things, try to say to yourself, if I can afford this, this makeup product or this skincare product, and if, especially if I already have one of those products already, then I need to, for me in my head, I'm doing something where then I'm going to put money away into whatever this was. If this is $10, then you take an additional $10 and you put it away, because if you have the money to spare for something that you don't need or that you have, then you must therefore have the additional funds and equal funds to put that away for your future savings or a rainy day, or put it into something that's earning you money. Because unless I've done anything substantially with this, unless I was doing a lot of makeup looks with these, or unless I was earning money somehow off of these, this just sat, except for the ones that I actually use, they sat and collected space and just were dead money in the toilet, if you will. They were not sitting in a stock someplace earning money. They were just sitting in a drawer collecting dust when they could have been collecting money, honestly. And it's learning these lessons and trying to not only observe that these are things what not to do, but if you do get sucked into wanting to do it, how to curb yourself, and then how to attempt to plan for longer term financial stability for yourself, so you're not overly spending money or going into debt. Another rule should be you should not put anything on a credit card if you cannot afford it. So I will admit all of these things, I can't afford them all. None of them are put on a credit card that I couldn't pay off, et cetera, et cetera. They never had been, thankfully. So I'm suggesting, though, if it is a situation where you don't have the money and you're putting it on Klarna and you're putting it on Afterpay, putting it on a credit card, and you don't have the funds to pay for it, and you have to have promissory notes, which is a way to just indebt yourself to the man at large instead of putting money into your own pocket, I would say don't do it. Don't incur debt if you cannot. And really, honestly, just look through your own collection or try to make something that you have work or be similar. Or tip or trick to this is put it in a cart someplace and just let it sit there for multiple days. And if you feel that after that, maybe you can hunt around for it to see if you can find it a bit cheaper. But again, be careful with that too, because it does become a time waster. And any amount of time, quote unquote, that you would like to dump into these endeavors, you want to make sure that you're dumping in equally to something that you're creating. You don't want to just be a consumer. You want to be equally creating and not just completely doing things of this nature where you're seeking out beauty products or you're seeking out um, clothes or you're seeking out things of this nature, because I'm definitely guilty of this. I'm learning not to do it myself, but it's trying to control it and in such a way that you're not putting yourself in debt. You definitely don't want to do this. If you owe money, this is the spot where you want to really take a look at what you have, like I was mentioning, and use what you have and realize that you don't need these things. It's just all a marketing ploy. And the sooner you realize that, you can kind of get out of like the scarcity marketing too, which is like another thing that I would love to do a video on, because that is something that I get trapped into as well. For example, the whole like Ulta debacle. So all right. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed this. And if you did, make sure to subscribe, because I will be putting on more videos in the future just like this. And until the next time, guys, I hope you all stay financially astute. Bye, guys.